Good afternoon, traders. This is my weekend video on the markets. So, some things that I'm looking at here, guys. Bottom line is here. I got some fibs thrown out here. Fib extensions. We're at all-time highs on SPY. So, what I did, I drew some fibs extensions based on these gaps that we recently had in the markets to the upside. And so, basically, what we have been doing is consolidating off this first gap into this 100% area right at all-time highs and pushed right up into a double topping situation on the S&Ps. Okay, so we technically do officially have a double top on SPY here. Okay, heads up on that. Now, some other things I got going on here. And this was a prior gap down area where we came up today into that, drove up into that gap area. Okay, so definitely look at. Ideally, what I'd like to look for with volume profile is a P-shaped volume profile. And one second here, let me show you what I'm talking about. Wait, pause. Okay, I had to get my epic pen going there, guys. So basically, if you go up here to the market maker moves, okay, or no, the uh, market webs. There you go, volume profile. This is currently on the daily. So basically, on this layout here, I got two studies. So I got the market web study, and I also have the anchored VWAP based off of the last Monday's opening print. So, and there's a reason for that. Okay. So on the daily time frame, you're getting the monthly webs. Okay. But if you go down on the 4 hour or the 1 hour, we'll go to 1 hour here. Okay. So basically, what you got going on here. So this represents the weekly webs from the weekly. So basically, all this volume that built out this week, it is represented in the uh, market volume profile. Okay, so just like next week, we will have a whole new volume profile that we'll be trading against. So ideally, what we're looking for is a P profile and volume profile, suggesting a continuation pattern. Okay, see this volume profile here. Okay, and if I change my settings real quick, I might make it. There you go. Now you can see it. So ideally, what you would want to be looking for to know that you're getting compression on a weekly time frame is a P on the weekly, a P volume profile. Okay, ideally, and that would suggest that uh, all the volume is hitting right at the very top, building pressure up for a breakout. We don't quite have that. Okay, and then you want to go down in your lower time frames, and you really want to see that P formation for a major breakout situation. Well, on the weekly, we don't have that yet. Okay, so I want to point that out. Instead, what we've got going on here is your textbook bell curve. Okay, this is your textbook. So basically, we're being told into the weekend, we're up into the extreme edge, standard deviation edge of using volume profile theory, so suggesting that we should be looking to short the double top based on the weekly volume profile. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Basically, uh, we don't have a lot of shorts left in the market. So basically, the only way it's going to push up now is just the lack of sellers. We're just going to migrate higher. You're not really going to get a short squeeze breakout. What you're wanting to do is have that volume profile so they build up shorts. So when we break out, it's going to be the short squeeze is going to help sustain the breakout. Okay, that's kind of the theory of volume profile. Now, if you go down to smaller time frames, what I normally do on this, if you go down to like the 30-minute, what I would like to do is like towards the end of the week. Now, I can't use 30 minutes, go 15-minute. Yeah. For some reason it's messing up. 1 second here. Okay, guys, anytime you're using the volume profile, you do have to have the extended hours turned on. And so basically what we got going on here in this volume profile, uh, this is the after hours right here. This represents. So look at how this volume profile is elongated from Friday's price action. That's not really a P profile like we're looking for. We're looking for, building compression into that move up. We know it was the end of August, so what we've got going on here is possibly uh, end of month window dressing, pushing us up into that resistance area. So be mindful of that. Uh, uh, we don't have that compression buildup of a lot of puts coming in to drive us, give us a big, massive driving force into the next realm of the market movements. So basically, I'd just be mindful of that going forward here. Now I'm going to go back to the blank here on SPY, and now we're going to talk about the time cycles. If you go over here on the daily again, yeah, don't want to use that. I don't think. Let's see here. Yeah, so this is a good one here. So we're going into a double top. And I just want to point out here, based on our time cycles, you see how long it took us to come down here, and, basically cycle high, cycle low. We've been consolidating sideways right here at the very peak. Because of the length of the consolidation, the pull down should be far less significant than this one here. That's what we're looking at here. Because of the time of the consolidation, we should be looking at a much less pull down in the markets. So I would be looking, bottom line is we got a cycle down date going down to 9/9, so over the next week. So I would be targeting an area. There's a gap right here. There's another gap down here. It could go either way. It could come all the way down here. But in my opinion, because of the cycle dates and stuff, you can put a little rectangle right here, plan it out for this week as a potential corrective wave to potentially fill this gap going into the end of this coming week. We got 4 days, 4 trading days for this week. Just be mindful of that. That's probably a higher scenario pullback area, and then that area would probably be uh, a buy the dip scenario for a break to new all-time highs. So that's my primary thesis that I'm looking at here based on the cycle dates and everything going on here. One last thing I'm going to talk about is this trend line I got right here. And so basically what I had on the market webs, I put that back up real quick. And on the daily time frame, there's a study that it can only be used on a daily time frame, and this is what you call studies. It's the anchored VWAP. Okay, anchored VWAP study. Which, if any of you guys want it, leave me a note down in the uh, comments and with your contact information, and I will send you the study. So basically, all you do, you just go in here and you type in an anchor date in the study, and basically by using like on a 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, uh, the webs show uh, weekly webs, the weekly volume profile. Uh, what I do is I anchor the week before, uh, anchor date like for this past week. It was the 19th. So 19th, uh, I anchored that, and then each day I anchor the trend line from the very Monday, from that Monday anchor to what the prior day anchored at, and basically getting the overall trend of the anchored VWAP. Okay, and then I can use that as a bull bear cross line to trade the trading session. So basically, I just turn this off for the most part, just have that trend line. So that's my line right there. Go below that line, boom, go short. Stay above that line. Anything above that line, if it comes back down to that line, you can, buy the dips. And then if you start accepting prices below it, you go short. So that's pretty much a really simple indicator to identify, bullish side, a short-term indicator, bullish side or bearish side of trend. So like we're going into uh, this week, I would not want to be taking an overnight short. Bottom line is if we close below this, that's your technical setup to take an overnight short. That they haven't been working lately, but in theory, that's the way you should trade it. Okay, you wait until support's broken before you take an overnight short, or you try to trade a contrarian trend. That's the way it's supposed to work, but it hasn't been working that well the past couple weeks. Okay. Okay. Now let's go over to the Qs. Similar situation. We'll go over the daily real quick. Or I can go through it. I explained it this time. So we're looking about the ninth for a cycle low. Okay. Basically, based off the high. So we kind of had an early peak come down, possibly, uh, uh, possibly we're probably into a down cycle here, a potential. So we're already in a downtrend for the past 2 weeks. We're in a downtrend cycle based off of our anchored VWAP. So we're in a downtrend, which does not look completed to the downside. So be mindful of that in your trading, okay? And so they took us right up to resistance. Now, if you go over to your market webs, okay, we'll go down here on the 1 hour. We'll check those volume profiles out. So on the weekly, okay, this past week, what do we have going on here? So this past week, we got a fairly good bell curve again. It's not really what we're looking for, okay? So we got this bell curve scenario where it really peaks right there, then it starts coming down, basically similar, So basically price on the Qs actually closed right here in the middle. So this does not suggest that we might have, buyers and sellers are still trying to decide whether or not which direction. So this is based week on week. We do not have, it's an accumulation or a distribution. We don't know which, but we are in a downtrend, which might be breaking out, telling us that it was accumulation for a breakout move. So we're not for sure of that yet. So you don't want to assume anything. Okay. And we should go down to our 30-minute. Okay. This is our daily webs. Okay. And this is something I want to point out here. So what we are really looking for is something like this. This is the scenario we're looking for, where you come up, there's accumulation up here, and we want that to become actual buyers are coming in, they're accumulating, and that to continue to break out. That is the pattern that we'd really be ideally looking for a breakout pattern. Okay, where basically it came up here into resistance, they're accumulating for that breakout. So we've already had that once on Qs and it failed. We're right back into that area. Okay, that in itself tells us something. We couldn't come down and break down. So this pattern suggests they've already tried to accumulate once and break out. That's suggesting to us that they're potentially preparing for a breakout here in the Qs and to reverse this downtrend, in my opinion. Okay, so that's kind of something I want to think of, mention here. That they're building pressure for a potential breakout here in the Qs, in my opinion. Okay, go back to our daily here real quick. Give me a second. Now I could be wrong. That they rejected here once before. It's just you would have thought we would have had much further a multi-day continuation breakdown. We didn't even get 2 days. We got the low, the very next day, and we did not make those lows again. So it looks like accumulation to me going on there. Russell, IWM. Okay, guys. We're going to start with blank. So as you can see, our anchored VWAP is a very, very steep anchor. We held it all week long. We're still in a very steep pattern. Our down cycle, we are in potentially a down cycle. So our cycle timing suggests that we're at a 78.6 fib 2, that this pattern won't break out. Okay, but we are in a very steep trend, so be mindful of that. Cycle wise, so given the combination of the steep side, this and that, the pullback should be minimum, in my opinion, on IWM. So basically, even if we come out to our cycle date to 909 or 99, whatever, it does seem to me like we're more likely the Russell will go sideways into the down cycle for a potential breakout, in my opinion, given the combination of indicators. Okay, now if we go down here on our 1 hour, what's this showing us on the volume profile? Okay, volume profile here. So we have two distributions from the prior week. We came up here. Okay, they found some. This has proven, because of the sell down, this was a heavy distribution because they came up and it failed. It broke down, but they couldn't come back down and hold down into this lower distribution. So this here suggests that they are trying to build a breakout pattern. Now we do have a suggestion that we are trying to build for a breakout. Okay, accumulate for a breakout pattern. Similar situation, this thing here, it's got, a bell curve, a little bit extended to the upside. It extended up, but it got failed. Uh, so, just keep a close eye on that one. Go down to the smaller time frames, 30 minutes. Okay, so what am I seeing here on this? So we came up, so we had a P formation on this date right here. Okay, right here. So we have a P formation right there. So we came right up into this area. Okay. We tried to push up. It failed. Okay. We did not even retrace all the way back down to the beginning of the P. That would have been the beginning of the P. So they found buyers early, suggesting this pattern is still valid. Okay. So you can actually put a Fibonacci retracement on there. That's probably about the 78.6 retracement, which got redefended. Brought us all the way back up into that P formation again. Okay, found more sellers initially. Okay, did it again. That's the third time. Now we're into it again, the fourth time. So they are building up pressure, in my opinion, for the breakout. Higher lows, all based off of that pattern right there. That's our key. So basically, once we can break out of this pattern, so basically over the 220, if we come in Monday morning, we're you know once we can start accepting prices above 220, this thing is likely to be a breakout pattern. So potentially breakout pattern, but the cycles do suggest that uh, you know we get back up into these areas, we might need some more time to digest, for the cycle dates to actually match up for the breakout. Okay, I did want to point that out. So we'll go back over here on my cycle dates on the daily time. I got over here on the daily time frame. As I had pointed out, the cycle date's still for a few more days. So just be mindful of that towards the end of next week. Coming sideways into that for a potential breakout that would kind of line up better for the cycle dates. So, the longer we stay in this area, the more compression builds up, especially if we can stay at the top end of the consolidation. So, more consolidation is better, in my opinion, for the breakout. So be mindful of that. Okay. As you can see, we have a strong anchored VWAP trend, but it's not quite as strong as the IWM. So be mindful of that. The slope isn't quite as strong as IWM. So basically, another thing I'm looking at here, we're looking potentially a down cycle. Like I said, the stronger the slope suggests the more supported the move. Okay, so this one here is likely to be more supported versus something like the S&Ps and Nasdaq. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Diamonds and Russell do seem to be more supported right here, right now. Okay, if we put your market webs on here now. Okay, we'll start with the 1 hour. Looking for those P patterns that are actually giving us some sort of signal. Okay, very evenly distributed information on the weekly. So it's not really giving you any tell. See how, evenly distributed. Okay. So one thing I can say right here, this area is an upside down P or a baby B. So this is a bearish pattern right here. This week right here, that was a bearish pattern. Okay, right there. And what did they do? They came in, they defended it right there. So basically they came in, this is a baby B, they defended it. So, that actually, this is a bearish pattern looking for continuation to the downside, which was defended already. So let's definitely keep that on watch on a weekly time frame. Then if we go down to our 30-minute, oops, didn't change it. Down to our 30-minute. Okay, some things that I could look at on this volume profile that might actually give me some idea what to think here. So this right here is a somewhat P formation right there. Okay, that has acted as support right there. So we came right down to that area right there, and they found support, and that happened Friday. Came right down to the support and rocketed right off that support. Okay, so that's something, that's a nice little takeaway to have to think about the markets. What did that do? See, we had two distributions right here on this date, but this could be window dressing. So you can't really read too much into this. You got double distributions right here, which we broke early on Friday morning. We broke right through that bottom distribution already. So that's not support. We have to prove that's going to be a new higher low support, which has not been proven to be a new higher low support because it's already broken. So the only support we have is right here. So just be mindful. Everything happened Friday technically isn't supported. Uh, it can be, but it technically isn't. So we got to be mindful of that. This proved to be distribution. This right on this date was distribution, and we went right back into the distribution area with no proven support till all the way down here. So 412 is our proven support so far. Okay, so you really didn't want to be long this going into the overnight or to the weekend. You really didn't. Takes me a second here. Okay, quick rundown here for Apple. This right here, right now, this is an overnight session inventory. So I think you could actually legitimately draw this out as a bearish pattern. So we close in a bearish posture for Apple. So be mindful of that versus volume profile. But we are above our 1 week anchored VWAP. So that's bearish. So we're still on the bearish side, bullish side of trend, but with a bearish close. I do also want to point out here, we're still in the bullish cycle, at the top of the bullish cycle. So I don't think there's any reason this is one of the strongest stocks out there. Now, if you go over to Tesla, I think that's quite interesting. Tesla, we came right off the August anchored VWAP, the monthly anchored VWAP, and we rallied Friday right at a potential cycle low. Heads up on that. Yeah, this thing here is poised for a potential breakout, in my opinion. This is quite interesting, poised for a potential breakout of the downtrend here on Tesla. So keep a close eye on this. I mean, I don't know if it's going to happen, but you never know. Can't really see anything with the weekly other than the fact that this was supported by this P volume profile. So be mindful of that. That's what these volume profiles are for. You know, they sit there and show you where the support should come in. That's where it came in, right there. Right there, right there. That's where the support came in. So on the bigger time frames, it's not rocket science, Well, there you go. We got our support. And now if you go over here, we're looking for the P profiles if you can. So we have uh, a B profile, baby B profile that told us to go short, which that would have worked out. Uh, so right there, you had a B profile here, B profile here, two back to back. Okay, so that told us to go short. Okay, um, so basically now what I'm looking at here is uh, what can I say here? Okay, the P profile, technically, your P profile is up here in this area. So, in my opinion, uh, you're probably not going to find resistance till you're up in this area. Up in this area, you're going to find resistance right around that volume profile. You'll probably find resistance up around the 219 area. But there's nothing about this volume profile that you know uh, suggests that the upside move is done, in my opinion. Okay. Uh, so I'm kind of thinking the cycle low in Microsoft isn't done yet. I actually went short Microsoft there Friday and made my money early in the morning, based off of my time stamps and stuff, thinking that we're in for a continuation sharp down cycle, possibly revisiting, these lows at 407, maybe even lower. Uh, ideally, what you'd be looking for in this with this trend down here, you would actually be looking for a move down to 400. So right around 401, potentially here to the downside on Microsoft. Be mindful of that. Over to the 1 hour now. What would I look for here? See, that's not really supported. That's just a bunch of stuff. So you would have to get through the 408. This here was supported right here. So basically, to go that far, you'd have to break through break through that, because you do have, like I said, volume profile there. So right there, that's probably your first critical support. It would probably take something a little bit more, some sort of news-driven move to take us lower here. So let's definitely keep this one on watch going forward here. You don't really have a P profile on that one. Go down to the 30-minute real quick. Is there anything that stands out? You had a P profile up here that got rejected, so now that's new resistance. So that right there, this right here, I would be going into Tuesday, looking for that to possibly reject. Heads up on that. I didn't have them on my chart, that anchored VWAP. So we're still below that, so we're in a bearish side of trend too. So that actually reinforces my theory that, this isn't a bearish pattern, and the time, the trend, everything seems to be lining up on that assessment. Okay, another one that I'm looking at here is Amazon. Really, the best pattern there Friday. We were into the cycle low area looking for a potential pop. Uh, we got it there Friday, suggesting maybe the downside pressure has alleviated on this one here. So what I typically do here is I don't have that one drawn out yet. Let me draw that around all out while I'm talking to you guys. We were in a down cycle. Okay, we pushed above it. So now we're in a bullish breakout scenario. Go down to the 1 hour, see if we got any type of got a P profile here. They found support right at the P on the weekly time frame. Bullish pattern. Go down 30 minute here. Is there anything I can say about this one here? Potential P formation on this one here at the highs. Go over here. Make your P formation here. Potential P formation. So if we came back down, we would be looking for this area right here to become new support if we came down. Okay, if for some reason we came down, turned back bearish, we would be looking for support there. This is a breakout. They short squeezed us for that breakout. So ideally, we're looking for a continuation move into resistance. Okay, so we found resistance right up here. Okay, at this price point right there. We have, I don't think we're quite into that yet. So let's keep a close eye on that. So uh, this right here, right in this zone right here, that's where volume came in. That was right around the 180 area. So the 180 area acting as a resistance area going forward. So be mindful of that. Seems like the 178 is still a little, well, we had some resistance back here, I guess. Had resistance right here. That's why they didn't break it out. This is really a bearish, I mean, this is a short squeeze, okay? So if it continues, it continues. But I mean, I'm just saying it's a short squeeze breakout. We're bullish side of trend. So ideally, if you see a bearish, this is a bearish B, you want to go short only if you're below the primary trend. The primary trend's bullish, just turn bullish. This is not a situation where you want to be trading the short side. Hey guys, Meta looks like a potential, still looks like a potential down cycle we're in. We're in the bearish side of trend. Our trend from last week, we're going in bearish side, potential more time in the down cycle. So I would be looking to the bearish side on this pattern. Go to the 1 hour real quick. Really not seeing anything. Like I said, we have possibly have a bearish. I mean, really, the main support's way down here. So the 500 area, this would be your support area if the thing were to break down in this area, in my opinion. Based on the weekly time frame, that's your main support. Go down 30 minute. Clear my drawing there. So, you know, in my opinion, we'd try to trade this to the bearish side. Not saying that's what we should do, but that's the way I would suggest doing it. This, and it's just a lot of mess. It's a lot of chop. There's a lot of chop there, so it's not giving us a directional on that one. NVIDIA looks like we may have completed the down cycle. We just don't have confirmation. So basically, we're looking for a new daily high to confirm a reversal of trend. That we don't have that yet. This thing could squeeze and squeeze hard. So be very mindful of that. The cycle date does suggest NVIDIA could be finding a floor at any moment. It doesn't have to. It could just go sideways for this whole cycle. This entire up cycle, we could actually just go sideways and start a new lower trend. You never know. Could be a lower high trend. You just never know. Okay, but there is the potential that we could find buyers there. I mean, let's definitely keep out on watch. We go down to, oh, I want to, that's another thing I want to keep in mind here, guys. So right here, we're in a downtrend. Be mindful of that. You're in your anchored VWAP is in a downtrend, so this is a bearish pattern right now. You trade it to the bearish side, until proven otherwise. So on the weekly time frame, is there anything that stands out to me here right now? Okay. Okay, this here is this area down here is acting as support. So heads up. So this right now is our supporting area, right around the 215 or the 115. The 115 is acting as support, and it will be support until it isn't. So just be mindful of that. And then the volume profile, you see how we sold off there? It's almost exactly the same on the volume profile there. That does not look like an accumulation or distribution. It does not seem like on a weekly time frame we've hit any type of an extreme read on that. So be mindful of that. This trend could very well not be over. Oh, let's go over here to the 30-minute. 30-minute, can I get any type of read on the 30-minute here? This right here is a bearish pattern before the earnings came out. This here, and we have not, this is a bearish pattern right here. Before that, this put a line in the sand for NVIDIA. So the 124 area is now a new line in the sand from this breakdown before the earnings even hit. So this is the further confirming the bearish pattern. The final one I'm going to go through here, that's Google. We do not have any type, we're in a bearish pattern. Let me draw that out real quick. But we are looking for a bullish pattern to ensue. Basically, in the next few days, we would be looking for a bullish pattern to ensue from Google based on our cycle analysis. Basically, we want to cross this downtrend and the momentum on our side. There's a couple things we're looking for. We just have to see it manifest itself. Okay. Right now, trend is bearish. Weekly is not really giving us anything. Basically, our support's down here. So if you go long, remember this down here is really the main support now. See this trend line down here? It's coming into that trend line. See how it came down here? So I'm telling you right now, we could very well be into this 156 area yet. They could not. They may not be done with the downside. So, the 156 should be support. Barring the news, but that's the cycle suggests we're running out of time for the down moves. So be very mindful of that. And if you go down to the 30-minute now, boom, 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 boom. 30-minute here. Can I see anything on the P patterns? We do have a P pattern breakdown right here. And these are very short dated. Okay. That's a P pattern breakdown suggesting we got resistance right there. So, basically you need to see buyers come in accepting prices above that. This is actually a possible early entry for an attempted trend breakout. So, just even getting above the overnight, we come in Tuesday morning, getting above these highs right here. This could be a setup for an early entry. Like you'd come in like a third lot or early entry for a potential back up to the trend. Heads up on that. That'd be a contrarian trade. Remember, we're in a downtrend. You're trading back to the trend line. That's a contrarian trade. So that's I like doing those trades. So just thought I'd mention that real quick. And I do want one last thing to talk about. I do want to talk about there is a really good chance that we are going to uninvert at least part of next week. Okay, guys, so we are just right there. That means that the 2 year versus the 10 year is just right there. So that could cause volatility in the market. The idea of uninverting again, it caused a lot of volatility last time. It just did it for just a short time intraday. And if we, for some reason, were to uninvert for any sustained time in next week's session, that may not be good. And as you can see, the time patterns and stuff do not suggest, on a lot of the tech, does not suggest there's going to be a heap of follow through in some of these mega techs. Just be mindful of that. The time frames are not quite lining up for this big bullish takeoff. We're currently in this tech downtrend, so just be mindful of that. Things just don't seem to be lining up good enough, in my opinion, to have a major driving force in tech land next week. Okay, thanks for listening. This is a lot longer than I normally do, but it gave you a better idea of some of the ways that I look at the markets, trying to put, time, price, and volume profile, trying to put all those elements together to get a much better understanding of how price action is working in the markets. If you need any studies or anything like that, just let me know and I'll share those with you. The TOS studies, some of them I paid for, but I'm more than happy to share that stuff. Thanks a lot. Please like the video if you like it, and thanks for the time for watching it.